Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of the August 2024 update from Clydebridge station. Now, to explain why I've got a second part of this August update is, at the time of filming I'm actually on 2 weeks annual leave from work, so as well as getting, I'm not going anywhere, so as well as getting work done in the garden, weather permitting, I've also been taking advantage to go and visit family, and in addition to that, it's given me a lot more time to do some layout work. In the second part of this August update, we're going to build upon the ideas that we've done in the first part of this update, quite literally in fact, because we're going to be putting the platform surfaces on, and they'll be done a lot better than what you see here. Now, the original problem with the platforms when I put them on before was that I wrapped each platform surface and then put it onto one of these and then attached it, and that left unsightly gaps. What will happen this time is I'll put one piece on and then I'll do the next piece and butt it up. These figures and ornaments, if you so wish, are only there just for an idea, but they'll get taken off when I come to install the first piece of surface, and I'll show you how to do that. And I'll also going to be showing a little tip that Justin Noble showed on the video where he was doing the live build of covering these joins. Obviously the work that I'm going to be doing, you'll only see an edited version of it. It will take a little bit long time, and I'm taking my time with this build this time, so making sure I don't get things horribly wrong. I'll take these off now because obviously this is going to be where the first part goes, but I just wanted to point out something to you as well. The station name boards are going to be redone to a brand new design, and if we've got time in this update we'll see that. If not, you'll see that in the September update. Materials have also arrived from Scale Model Scenery, which will be getting used in the September update as well, where I'll be replacing this retaining wall with a much better, more glossy product. But that's for another day. There'll be the usual shout outs again in the video, and obviously we'll give the shout out once again to the two that got me inspired in railway modelling, David Watson at Dean Park Station and Richard Warren at Everard Junction. You'll find those two layouts on here. And also to my good friends at Wrangler, the clothing company, best jeans in the world, wrangler.com will take you to the appropriate website in your territory. So with all of that in mind, if you're all ready, all aboard and enjoy the programme. Any comments, queries, suggestions, put them in the comments box below. The first part I'm going to show you is a little tip that Justin Noble showed you in the Wednesday live build that Scale Model Scenery used to do, and they used to do on a regular basis, and this one was about the platforms. The link's actually in the top right hand corner. What we're going to do here though is show you a little tip for covering the joins. Now, you've got your platform ramp part of walling here, and you've got all this extra piece. I'm using some of the extra pieces for the head walls at the end of the platforms, but I can also use them for here. This is a little damaged piece. What I'll do is I'll just take the damaged part off first. Make sure your cutting mat is actually big enough as well, and by the way, mine is big enough. This is our new cutting mat I've got specially for this job. The old one is now thankfully gone. It's seen better days. Yeah, I don't know if I've actually got that cut through yet. I have, yep. Now, the way to do this, please be very careful with these knives. I must emphasise right now that this is a job that children must not do. It's adult supervision only, okay? Now, what Justin done was, he took his piece and I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but you know how you used to get the price tickets if you went into, say, Woolworths or the Co-op? And there was a sort of wavy line type thing. Well, that's what Justin done. Now, I'm having a bit of a job doing this, but yeah, that's... you can't see it quite on camera, but what I'll do is I'll carry on, I'll make a couple, I'll show you them, and I'll then apply them onto the layout. I've made two up, and that's the first one. There you go, because I don't know how well the camera picks that up. What I'm now going to do is I've got some Yoo-Hoo glue, and I'm only putting a small amount on to the piece of walling wrap. I'm going to do the first two there now. I'll do the others off camera later on, because if I can get them done before I put the platform sections on, it's a hell of a lot easier. There we go. So that's the first two done, although the first one has actually managed to land on the track. Anyway, I'm going to stick that onto there. One advantage of using Yoo-Hoo for this job as opposed to laser cut kit glue is that the Yoo-Hoo glue, it gives you time to actually manoeuvre it into position and manipulate it if you so wish. And what it also does is it sort of diverts the attention away from the join. I mean, on camera it will look quite difficult to pick up, I would think anyway. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll take the camera and just show you. You can just faintly see one of the joins, but that's literally it. I'll do the other two off camera later on. I'm not going to do them for the other side here, for the simple reason they won't be needed, certainly on platform 1. Later on, when I come to replace the next lot, I will have to do it. But that's how you start to cover your joins on your scale model scenery platform wall sections. We'll head back to the shed now, the big shed, and we'll get underway with the next part of this project, and that is to make the platform surfaces. And while I'm heading back to the shed, a couple of shout outs for you. If you could check out first of all West Blyth MPD, which is set in the northeast of England, and the other one I'd like you to check out is one that I've not gave a shout out to for a little while now, and that is Shrewford, based upon Shrewsbury, and that's an N-gauge layout. So I'll let you check those out, please. The scale model scenery platform, modular platform kit does not come supplied with the platform surfaces or the platform walls. You choose them yourself and purchase them separately. And I think scale model scenery said I think it's about 22 at least different combinations you can choose. The actual modular platform kits do come with these pieces of card, and for the ramp ones, that's the ones that you get, and you also get an extra piece of one of these. That could be useful later on when I'm building, when I'm attaching the platform surfaces to the platform bases. When I show you the sheets, they come with come like this, and you'll notice here that it doesn't quite fit over. You do get a smaller version of the scale model scenery platform kit. I went for the longer one. The smaller one would be suitable for this paper. Just that they have the instructions on here, so that's why they have to do it that way. you'll also notice a little orange arrow there, and there's an orange arrow there, and that's a score line. Little tip for a scoring tool: do not use one of these and go lightly, because you will rip the paper. What I've got here is a little pen. Now, biro pens are popular. Once your pen runs out of ink, then what you can do is use it as a scoring tool. You see there's no ink coming out of that at all. This is actually a very old pen that my mum got me one time. I think we're at Butlins at Skegness or something. And the pen's not been used for years and ink's now run out. And for some reason I've never thrown it out, but it's a good thing that I didn't throw it out, because it'll do it as our scoring tool. So that's given, camera won't pick this up, but that's given me a score line. And what I'll do is, I'll now cut out this piece of platform sheet, and then what I'll do is get it all ready and attached to our platform top sheet. Now, when you're working with your craft knife, always be very careful and don't put your fingers too close to the actual ruler edge itself, and just take your time with it. Now, the reason why you score first and then cut is because if you actually went and cut it first, you wouldn't know where the orange arrow was. So that's why you always score your lines first before you go and cut it. So at least we now have that orange line, that score line done, because we knew where the arrows were to score. Now, I'll go on and get this done, and then I'll get it all glued on, and I'll let you see what that's like next. That's it cut out. That actually took just over 5 minutes, but I was taking a hell of a lot of time with it. Now, do you remember that score line I done earlier? There it is there. I've actually now went and folded that over, and that's going to prove useful, because when you butt your platform up like that, it'll go up against that score line, you see. Now, here's the next bit. We're going to cut this piece off, because obviously we've got an extra section there that we do not need. This tarmac section is getting made surplus, by the way. When I come to resurface the station concourse area, I'll actually experiment and try and use these. See if I can actually make the platform, make the concourse tarmac using these, just to see how it goes. That's obviously a long way into the future, but you're also wondering why Scale Model Scenery have actually done it this way and have large sections of platform like that. It's because some stations have platforms wider than other stations. Just so some people will want to have wider platforms. They maybe just ordering the platform surface from SMS, but using the kits from other firms. Now, what I'm going to do here is, just before I apply the Yoo-Hoo glue, you better use a biro pen for this, but I've made a little mark. You can't see it in the camera. just so that I know where I'm going to apply the Yoo-hoo glue. And you basically scribble the glue on like that. Now to do the rest of the platform section, there's two little things to take note. The section I've just cleared there, so you've got another part for the other side of the platform, and that would just get glued, cut out, scored, cut out, and then glued on as I'm doing here. And you would just do the same procedure to cover this little gap that's at the end where my thumb is. So I won't be doing those bits on camera for you, but I will be doing this first piece on camera for you, because after all I'm not wanting to just simply go and keep repeating myself like that. The hardest bit is actually, I think, going to be when it comes to doing the ramp parts. This is where it takes a little bit of persuasion, and again this is another good reason for using Yoo-hoo glue. There we go. I'll now run a little bead of Yoo-hoo glue on the underside of this bit here. Give that a few seconds to set, to start to go off, and then I can get it done. And as I say, this piece here, I'll score it and cut it out, and it'll go on the other side, and similar procedure to what I'm doing here. I wouldn't recommend using the likes of Pritt Stick for this, or PVA. I'm like Justin Noble, it's never something that's actually agreed with me. There we go. I'll get the other side all done, get this gap piece here done, and then I'll attach this onto the platform. Now once it's attached onto the platform, I'm going to weigh it down with something, probably a paint tin or two, and get it weighed down so it properly adheres to the surface. When you're drilling one of these to put lamps in, operational or non-operational, I would actually leave it for a few days before you actually go ahead and do that. That's what I'm going to now do off camera, get the other sections done so I can get this made into a proper platform. And if you could please check out on Twitter, and Nick Mullins, rugby union commentator, if you could give him a check out please, and also his colleague at TNT Sports, Hugo Monnier, if you could check him out. He's actually on both Instagram and Twitter, so I'll let you check them out as well, and we'll by the time you've checked them out, I should hopefully be finished this. You can just see the join there between the two pieces of paper, but that is the first platform section in place. What will eventually happen is, as I say, later on in the programme we'll be putting the street furniture in, as it were, for the layout, and so these are actually going to go back to back, so it can be in a much better position. And that certainly gives you the idea though of how this is going to look now. And there we go, you see that there with the transparent. Now the links to the various things that I've used from Scale Model Senior are in the description below, and you'll notice how different these platform surfaces are to these. These are probably a 2000s style platform, this is a late 80s style platform because it hasn't got the yellow parts there, so I think that's a much better fit for the layout. I'll go and get the rest of them done and put them on. It will take some time, so that's why I'm not going to show you all on camera. And while I'm doing that, if you could check out please Mike at Pudham Junction, and also if you could check out Woodhill Park, and a third one for you is Jeff, who runs Pride Parkway. You'll find them all here on YouTube. With the main parts of the platforms in place, which you'll see shortly, I'm now going to turn my attention to the end ramps. Earlier on I explained how I damaged one of the end ramps and had to use the other one. I was originally going to only need to order one pack of end ramps, but I'll have to order a second one just to get one for the ramps of platforms 3 and 4. Now, as it turns out, it has its own benefits, because I've had to adapt one of the pieces of top sheet that would come for the end ramps to be able to allow me to have a full platform with no issues, no unsightly gaps. Each modular platform ramp kit comes with 2 of these, and what I've done is I've cut one of them to a length of 4 centimetres, and it will go on like that onto the end ramp, something like that. Basically I'm going to use this piece of sheet that I've got left, glue them on like that, and then do the same on the other side, and then I'll get it applied onto the ramp itself, and then that should be the station platforms for platforms 1 and 2 completed. So that's platforms 1 and 2 now finally relaid, and a bloody sight better than what was there before. The problem I caught up with here at the end, you can see those edging stones are a little bit out, but there's not much I can really do about that now. But I've got the end ramp glued down. I might need to actually apply a little bit more glue to that afterwards, but that is down and firmly in place. And by the way, let's put that there for now. You'll notice that the retaining wall here has been taken up. The original plan for part 2 of this August update was that I was going to start putting the furniture onto the platform, but that's now not going to be the case. I've took advice from a couple of people who've said to me, get your retaining wall done first. So we'll be making a start on that, and it'll also mean that once I get the retaining wall done here, somebody's hungry, the advertising hoardings can go on, and ballast can actually be put into here. So I'll probably be able to ballast up to round about this point, but that's as far as I can go, although that's going to be a long while afterwards, and then I can start applying the furniture to the platforms. So that's what's going to happen for the rest of this part 2 of this August update. You know, I actually have been thinking while I was finishing off these platforms that this is the second consecutive year I've managed to do a 2-part update in August. I'll have to start changing the name and calling it the Clydebridge Summer Special. What do you think? Probably will do, actually. but in all seriousness, these retaining walls are going to get done next, and that's what we're going to go on to, and I'll speak about the challenges I face. The retaining wall will be built to the same style as round at the shopping centre, but it does have a couple of unique challenges. I'm going to have to put a joining piece in here to hold these 2 bits together, and I've also got to make sure that everything is the right height for the rise here, and I've also got to do something for in here. This bit is actually where I'm going to make my start. Get a piece made up for that, and then start making all the bits up that'll keep going along. I've also, as I say, got advertising hoardings. Whether you'll see them go up in this update, I do not know. You might have to wait until the September update. But I have also got adverts to put on them. And I may make a few more up. I should add as well, when I'm on about that, I'm on the advertising hoardings, I've not decided yet whether to put new ones onto the platforms or not. But that's clearly something that could be done at a later date. My first job is to go and get something to go into here. So I'll go and make that up now, get it all measured, see what I need, get that put into place. And then my plan is to make the piece that goes along the bottom there. I don't want to start making up the top pieces until I have the whole rise done, even for here. That's what the retaining wall's starting to look like. If I just take you over here to the shopping centre part, and you'll notice, see all these bits here that we've got. Now, what I've decided to do is to do all the top bits on these angled sections at the end of doing this whole section here. My thinking behind that is I want to get this bit absolutely right on here, and then I could work out the angles that will come in and the angles for anything else to go in here. It also means as well that it looks plain at the moment, but it'll end up looking right when I do come round to doing it. And as Justin Noble said in one of his videos, if it looks right, then it is right. Once these are all in place and dried, I can then start to put some vegetation along the bottom here. And I can also then look at the planning for these little things. Now, you may remember these were on the platforms. Obviously, they won't go into that one there, well, it could in theory, but it would just be too close. So you're looking at from the third one onwards, we'll have adverts all the way along, advertising hoardings. Obviously, as I say, I'll just show you, I've been putting them under there. That's going to be in the September update. I need to crack on and get the rest of this retaining wall finished. It'll take me some time, but it'll just take you a few seconds to see how it's looking. That's a large section of the new retaining wall done, and these pieces here have not yet been done. Excuse me, but that's going to get done. Get the tops on them. Notice that this bit here is narrower than these pieces. That's because this is where the main join was that was coming out, so this strip here covers the join. To do these sloping parts, I cut out the SMS modelling card and done it in a sort of diagonal way, and then placed it diagonally onto some SMS English bond brick, and you can see there that it's coming up. This bit here you can see is where there's slope joins to the straight part. That had to be done in two sections in order to allow it to fit. The next stage now is to get the upright parts on. That should be easier for me to show you them here. To get these pieces on, and then this bit. I'm going to do it by cutting the pieces here, putting the pieces on here first and then here, so I know what sort of angle I've got to cut things at for here, so everything's in the right space. And then I'll come back this way and do it, and I'll see just how far I can actually get with the retaining wall with all the equipment that I've got now. It'll be interesting to find that out. One other thing as well is that I've measured up for the advertising hoardings, and they will fit in to these 5 pieces, but they won't fit into here, and I very much doubt they'll fit into here. So that's what's going to happen there. I'll get on and get the rest of these done and get them cut into shape. I just must point out, by the way, that where possible I've tried to cover the joins in the paper, but this bit here I managed to get wrong. But everything else, the joins are covered by these large strips. Well, this is as far as I've managed to get. Now the problem I'm going to have now is resources, or available resources. What I'll have to do is, for this piece here, I'll need to cut another section like that, and I'll probably have to get two bits and join them together long ways. You can see I've done it here up and down the way. That is going to be something that I'll do at some point. But up to here is now complete. You can see it goes up and then it goes down, and it will stay going down, and it'll stay like that because obviously I need to keep it so it's in line with the bottom windows of the shopping centre, and this bit will sort out at a later date. The ScotRail Welcome to Clydebridge sign is in its position there, and as already mentioned, we've got some coping stones on there from this wall, which is going to be taken out and replaced by a new wall. That looks a bit ridiculous, to be honest with you. It doesn't look right at all, so that'll be getting replaced at some point in the future. My last three shout outs of the month are first of all to a gentleman on YouTube called Simon Judd, who runs a layout called Mulberry Junction, set in the same era as my layout. Now he's not as far advanced with his layout as what I am, but it's still very interesting to watch, and he has 4 locomotives on the layout that I have on mine. 47475 there. He's also got 47436, 47444 and 47535, all carrying large logo blue livery. Two other shout outs are both to musicians or bands. Now the first one is a gentleman called Greg Pearson. You can check him out on his Instagram, which is in the description below. The other one is a band called Courthouse, and again I'll put a link to one of their videos in the top right hand corner. And a little bit of a laugh I've had with these guys because they had a photo up on Instagram links in the description below as well, and I went and said to them, bit of style tip, you all need to get yourself some Wrangler jeans. So they went and one of them went and replied and said that if I listened to their new tune, they would all get Wrangler jeans. So this video is getting sent as a private message to their manager on Instagram, and I've gave you the shout out, guys. I've put a link to your Instagram in the description below. I've put a link to your video. You 5 guys now need to go and get some Wrangler jeans and get the photos on Instagram for me, showing that you're now wearing the best jeans in the world. Courthouse, if you go and check them out, please. Just before I wrap up the video, I think what we'll do is we'll get a little running session going. We'll get a few trains in here and let you see the effect with some tannoy announcements as well.
The next train to depart on platform 2 will be the 1655 Regional Railway Service to Liverpool Lime Street, calling at Lockerbie, Carlisle, Oxenholme Lake District, Lancaster, Preston, Wigan North Western, St Helens Central, and Liverpool Lime Street only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The next train to depart on platform 1 will be the 1700 hours ScotRail service to Edinburgh, calling at Motherwell, Shotts, Livingston South, Haymarket, and Edinburgh only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The next train to depart on platform 4 will be the 17:05 Scott Rail Service 2, Glasgow Central, calling at Hamilton West, Hamilton Central, Motherwell, Uddingston, Newton, Cambuslang, and Glasgow Central only. This train is formed of 3 coaches. The next train to depart on platform 3 will be the 17:10 Scott Rail Service 2, Fort William, calling at Motherwell, Dumbarton Central, Helensburgh Upper, Arica and Tarbet, Crean Larrick, Bridge of Orkney, Carraw, Tulloch, Speen Bridge, and Fort William only. This train is formed of 3 coaches.
So that's it for this month's update. I hope you've enjoyed this 2-part summer special update. Now, what will be happening in the September update is that I'll be getting the shopping centre finished. I've got the final piece ready for that, and I've got a G and a 1 for the lift to install. We'll also be getting underway with putting advertising hoardings on the retaining wall, and I'm going to have to examine one of the lighting towers that I've got in the depot area because it's been falling over, so I suspect I'm going to be getting a replacement one for that. I'll also be soldering and cleaning some of the track, and you may have just noticed towards the end there's some new arrivals, a couple of bits of rolling stock and a few items in this station track area. You'll be getting them all revealed to you next month as well. So that completes this month's update, which was a 2-parter summer special. I hope you've enjoyed it, even though it was 2 parts. It'll just be 1 part next month because I'm back on my usual job, which means I've got less time at the lake because I've also got the garden in the house to look after. But if you got any comments, queries, suggestions about what you've seen in the 2 parts of the August update, then please do leave them in the comments box below, and I'll look forward to your company again next time. Whatever you're doing, please do take care of yourselves, won't you, and enjoy your layouts, and we'll see you soon. Cheerio.